we are going hiking today, and we have a friend coming with us. They're bringing their dog with us, and we figured we'd make some wraps today for this hike. So come on, I'm going to show you how we're doing it. All right, so what we have here is a bunch of wraps that we've already pre-made, and we've actually brought these with us on our recent trip to Oregon. And what's so cool is once you make the wraps, you can separate them between some parchment paper, and they stay so fresh for at least like a good couple weeks, as long as you keep the bag open, right? So they can breathe. Because there is a little bit of moisture left in there, it doesn't make condensation in the bag. And then, of course, we've got some deli paper that we can wrap the wraps up with. So that's going to be really fun. And we made some katsu barbecue. This is definitely one of my very favorite sauces at this point in time. So we've got this whipped up. We're going to put that into some squeeze bottles that we can drizzle on our wraps. And these wraps are going to be really simple. These wraps are going to be the ones that will last for days in your fridge. We're going to be putting dry ingredients in there like the lettuce, cabbage, some fenugreek sprouts, some bell pepper, some carrot, and some onion. Super simple, and they will last a good amount of time in your fridge. Good 3 to 4 days grab and go lunch. So nice. So first, before we get going building these wraps, let's get our lettuce prepared. Now, as you see, we've got some romaine leaves here, and the romaine leaf has this stem in the middle. We want to remove that stem because it makes it easier to fold the wrap when the stem is out of there, and we're less likely to maybe puncture a hole in the wrap because of that stem. Now, these stems are still good. You could add them into a salad or whatever, but we're just going to trim off the rest of these leaves. Okay, so as I'm cutting these out, you can see this does take a little bit of time. This is probably the longest part of the whole process. I mean, aside from, making the wrap and putting it in the dehydrator, which only takes about 15 to 20 minutes to whoop those up. Then they sit in the dehydrator overnight. And the reason that we're not putting any tomato or ferments into these wraps is those will make the moisture come out of our lettuce and our bell pepper or even our carrot or onion and make them soggy. So we want to stay away from putting salty things like fermented foods or any of the wet ingredients like cucumber and tomato into the wraps, and that way they stay drier and stay fresher for longer. So again, if you want to eat your wraps right away, you can put the tomatoes, the fermented pickles, or other ferment like sauerkraut or these sorts of things, cucumbers, peeled cucumber in your wrap if you're eating them within like a good maybe 15-20 minutes, because those wet ingredients are going to be delicious, of course, but if you let them sit in your fridge with those wet ingredients, then you are going to have a soggy wrap. And there's nothing worse than a soggy wrap, right? So these ones here, we're not going to be eating for a good few hours. So that's why we're going to stay with just doing some of these dry ingredients. Now for our bell pepper, we don't need a whole lot of bell pepper. We can just use a little bit. So what we'll do is just julienne these peppers up real thin. And again, these are, they might seem kind of like a wet ingredient because there's a little bit of moisture in there, but these do really well in the wraps. And like I was saying, we've had wraps on the 3rd and 4th day, and they're still quite delicious. All right, so there we go. We've got those. We're going to be doing 2 wraps, so I might need to do a little bit more bell pepper here. Let's go with maybe this section here. Uh-oh, look at those seeds. Okay, so now that we've got our bell pepper up, we can get our carrot prepared. And it's just nice to do a peeler. You can do it however you like, but I really like these kind of ribbons in the wrap. And it is interesting when you add salty ingredients like ferments, it really makes everything else sweat. It pulls the moisture out of the other ingredients. If you've ever made sauerkraut, it's literally just salt and cabbage. And the salt pulls the moisture out of the cabbage. So that's why we don't want to be putting any salty ferments into our wraps for today, because we're not going to be eating them for at least a few hours. The hike we're going on is a pretty good hike, and we have maybe about a 30-minute drive to the trailhead, so we won't be eating these for a good few hours, and we want them to be nice and dry and delicious when we do tap into them. So we'll just cut up some purple onion here. Okay, looking good. Now we have our lettuce, our bell pepper, our carrots, and our onion. And then we can also put in some cabbage. Green cabbage is great. These ones here are pre-packaged, as you can see. But of course, you can shred your own cabbage. And cabbage is a great thing to add as well. So let's grab, and we'll see if we can just scoot all of these onto a cutting board. And we'll kind of put these aside here. And we'll get our wrap right on this cutting board to get it made. Now, if you're looking for some of these wrap recipes, we have over 35 different wrap recipes, as well as different ideas for the fillings. Over 34. Sorry, it's over 34 wraps, not 35. Or there is actually exactly 34 recipes in that book. But you can make your own wraps. These are amazing. They're made with fruits and vegetables. This one here is the everything bagel. We really love this one. This is a salt-free kind of everything spread that we created to put on top. And inside the wrap book, you'll have different recipes to make your own cashew cheese, which also is really fun. We're going to be using some cashew cheese here for this wrap. Now, one thing with the cashew cheese, and why we really like to use the cashew cheese, is it creates a nice barrier and kind of seals the wrap. And then that way, when you put your ingredients in there, the moisture from the lettuce isn't going to soften up the wrap. Now, of course, you can use a sauce, or you could do like avocado if you like. You don't have to do any spread if you don't like. But, of course, a little cheese really does add a lot to the wrap. Now, these cheese recipes are oil-free, which is really nice, and super easy to make. Once you start making some different cashew cheeses, it really opens up a lot for the different things that you could bring to different gatherings and parties. Everybody loves the cashew cheese, who has ever tried it. Now, one thing that we like to look for when we're buying a cheese that we didn't make is we look at the ingredients and we make sure that it's oil-free. In this particular brand, Nuts for Cheese, they have a few different flavors, and these are really cool because they're oil-free. There's also another brand by the name of Treeline, and Treeline is also another really good one that is oil-free. So this will be kind of cool. Maybe we'll be able to throw a little bit of this in there somehow. But now that we have our cheese kind of spread on here, this is the part that is really fun, is loading it up. Now, you can put a lot in these wraps, so much. I always kind of like to just see how much I can put them in, or put in there and roll them. I'm getting them sometimes where they're just massive. You don't have to stuff them completely like that, but they can take a lot. So these ones here, actually we're doing two. Since we are needing to stop at the grocery store today, we are out of romaine. This is all the romaine that we have left in the house. What we have here is some iceberg, right? So Gonna peel off this outer layer. The rest of these look pretty good. So we can use some iceberg lettuce in here. And then we can throw on some of the romaine as well. Now, I like to put on some cabbage next. So I'll throw on some cabbage here. Now, as you can see where the cabbage is laid, that's kind of the bulk of the wrap is going to be right in this area. So we've got some fenugreek sprouts. If you're looking to sprout or get into sprouting, I would highly recommend it. And if you don't know what to do, we've got some different content to show you how to sprout. I've also got a full course, Sprouts, Krauts, and Microgreens it's called, teaching you how to ferment your own sauerkraut, making kimchi, sprouting, and all kinds of fun stuff in that video course to help you. So we've got some bell pepper we're going to throw in there. We're going to split these carrots in half. We'll lay those carrots in there. We'll throw some onion up in here. And that's essentially it. We also have some other cheese. This is a tree-line cheddar as well. This is a really awesome cheese. Look at how... Okay, this is an oil. This does have oil in it. This cheese here, which, I mean, is really kind of, you know, something we don't really get very often. We saw this the first time we saw it, and we're like, oh my gosh, let's try that out. So, you know, it does have a little oil, but look at that. That's some good-looking cheese. So I'm just going to put a couple pieces in there. Now we get into the fun part, which is rolling it. So what we want to do is we're going to take these outer corners, and we're going to bring them in. And, of course, you know, stuff gets kind of moved around. Not that big of a deal. You know, of course, you guys can maybe get real fancy with how you're putting your stuff in there. And then we're going to bring this back corner up, and we're going to overlap it so it looks kind of like an envelope. And you know, I don't have to worry about trying to stuff stuff in. I'm going to stuff these corners in down here. And then from here, you can just roll it. We're going to try to keep some of this stuff back there, the cheese. Look at there. Just roll it. As you can see, these wraps are nice and strong, but also pretty flexible as well. And look at this beautiful wrap. I mean, this could be a one serving kind of thing, but it's pretty hearty. So Lisa and I, a lot of times what we'll do is we will split these. And look at this beauty. Isn't that fun? And then we call this the sauce hole. We can pour our sauce down in there. And speaking of sauces, let's get our sauces ready. We're going to take a little funnel. We've got these really cool bottles. And these bottles are in our Amazon store. And what we really love about these bottles is these lids. Check out these lids. So it's really a cool lid because you can close it, of course, right? But when you're ready to use it, you've got this little hole that you can, it keeps that lid out of the way. So when you're squeezing it, it's not hanging and dangling and getting all sauce all over it. Really cool bottles. I love these little guys. So we'll get some more sauce in this one. This sauce is really, really good. And it looks as if I should have filled that other one all the way up because there's still a little bit left in there. So let's bring it back over here. All right, now we've got a couple of bottles of sauce for our wraps. Now, once you have your wraps rolled and cut, you don't have to cut it right away. You could keep it in a hole until you're ready to eat it. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to be eating these here in just a little bit. So we're going to wrap them in some deli paper. And it works out really nice just to pull the back corner up and then fold these sides in. Kind of use your thumb to press these down and then just roll it. Ready to go. Look at that. Whoop, hold on. There you go. Stay on down. Beautiful. Isn't that fun? And there you go. You're ready. These, with the dry ingredients, you can put them in a Tupperware. Don't put a lid on them so they don't condensate. And you can just put them in your fridge in a Tupperware sitting there, and they'll last for up to 3, maybe even 4 days. We've eaten them on the 6th day. They're not as delicious as the 2nd day. I feel like 2nd day wraps are the best because the wrap is just so perfect. But these are going to have some time to kind of soften up a little bit for on our hike. And the reason I say soften up is if we grab another wrap here. Ooh, look at this one. This one here is a good one. This is a caramelized onion. And this one here has some onion flakes, some cilantro. Look, we've got a little tear there. Sometimes that might happen. But we can fix that by knowing how to roll it. So if we flip this over, this is another thing to really keep in mind. I can see that it's a little, or I can feel it. It's a little thicker over here, a little thinner down here. So this is another reason why when you are smoothing out the batter for your wrap, to get it as smooth and even as you can so you can avoid things like this. Now, since this is cracked there, look at once we roll these sides in, we can fold this up. That might be pretty nice. Or if this was on the other end, let's see if we were to do it that way, and then we're rolling. Yeah, I almost think having this tear back here where it gets rolled in will probably be the best. So, same thing, we're going to throw our cheese on, and we're going to have to tap into this one because we're out of our homemade cheese. Look at there. We'll mix that together. Avocado really works nice too, and if you get those slim cados, the Florida avocado, those work really nice for a spread. Okay, so now let's get our romaine in here. And it works out to put the leaves not all the way to the edge because we're folding in those edges. And let's throw in some iceberg as well. Of course, this probably doesn't look real graceful, me making this, but this is real life. You know, I'm just trying to throw these together so we can get out on that trail. As I'm making this, I'm like, I don't know how satisfying this is to watch me crushing this lettuce and just slamming it on there. But like I said, this is real life here. All right, let's get our bell peppers in there. The rest of the bell peppers. We're going to get some more cabbage in this one as well. And as you can see, it's kind of easy to get a lot of stuff in these wraps. Easy to go overboard, and that's kind of what I end up doing quite often. Going a little overboard. All right, and then we've got our carrots in there. And our onions. And depending on what kind of sauces maybe you make, you could squirt some sauce in here too. Again, check out our hand salads ebook because, man, there is some really awesome recipes in there. Now, I want to be careful because there's that tear back there, but it looks like we're doing all right, feeling okay. And I'm just there's that tear. All right, so be careful. And that tear is going to be rolled right up. Oh, so perfect. Yeah, not bad. Okay. There we go. Second wrap ready to go. So delicious. And you can see, once you have the wraps made, if you do batch creating and you create a bunch of wraps at one time, you've got wraps to store. Because this morning we were thinking, what are we going to bring for lunch on our hike today? And I was like, you know what? We got a bunch of wraps made. Let's just roll a wrap. So there we go. We've got 2 wraps, or essentially that's 4 lunches If you wanted to have one of these for each lunch, you know, just bring your sauce. I mean, talk about grab and go. And it's raw, it's vegan, it's delicious, it's healthy. Good prebiotics, right? Got the probiotics, got the prebiotics. It's good for your microbiome. All kinds of delicious stuff in here. So that's what we have. Now I got a little mess to clean up, but let me show you how we're going to pack these. So there's different kinds of containers, and I noticed we bought some mushrooms the other day, and the mushrooms came in a container that is really similar to this old Costco date container. This would work perfect as well. We still have some mushrooms left in there. But what's cool is you can take these date containers or a Tupperware that's, you know, somewhat whatever. You guys are smart, you figure it out. But just look at how they fit in there so perfectly. Toss that in the fridge, ready to go. So for our hike, we can throw those in there, and then I'll grab the backpack and I'll show you how we pack those into our backpack. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little painter's tape on these ones here. And maybe you're making some for friends, maybe one doesn't like onions, right? You can label them. I'm gonna put N for Nate on those ones. Those ones are mine. Okay, now the next thing is I wanna bring the sauce with us, but I don't want the sauce to accidentally pop open in my backpack when I'm hiking, squeeze sauce all over the place inside my backpack. So what we like to do is we like to put a Norwex rag, which we really like the Norwex microfibers, and I just put that in a Ziploc, and then I can put the sauces in the Ziploc, and this is just a little peace of mind that they will be safe during our hike. All right, so we've got those ready to go. The next step is to fit them into the backpack. So I've got a water bladder in here, a camel pack, and I've got a little bit of ice in the water back here. And I've got plenty of space. So what we can do is we can slide the wraps in. I'm gonna put the back of the container against the ice so the front is away from the ice. Kind of can keep it a little bit cool. It is cooler out, so I don't have to worry about trying to keep it as cold. And then the sauces I can just slip in there as well. And there we go. We've got lunch ready. Look, I can even put these ones in there too. Look at that. Ooh. Is it gonna fit? Might have to shake it. There we go. Right? Ready to go, man. We've got lunch for days. Oh, I got a cord on back there. Can't put this on right now. But anyways, there it is. Wraps in the pack, ready to go hiking. You can see it doesn't take too long. Of course, we've got a little cleanup to do. I don't want to come home to a dirty kitchen, so I'm going to clean this up right now. But if you are looking for recipes to add more fresh fruits and vegetables into your life, be sure to click the link down below and check out the recipe books that we have. Everything is 40% off with the code RAWFOOD40. And if you want to join us in the kitchen real time like this, me and Lissa, we have our Raw Food Romance School community where we do live demos, multiple demos a month. We have at least one a month that we do, but we do multiple. And right now, we've got a sale going on for you for 30% off. So click the link down below if you're interested in joining our school group. It's a really fun way to stay connected to other people in the community. We all pump each other up. And of course, we do a lot of stuff other than just food stuff in the kitchen. We go deep on different topics. But yeah, check that out. As well as we do have a meal plan app if you're looking to add more fruits and vegetables to your life, but you just don't know what to do. You don't know what to buy at the grocery store. That can be another tool for you. $5 a month for the meal plan app. Generates out different meals for you, your macro breakdown, shopping list, these sorts of things. Just anything to help you start to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your life because you're going to feel better, absolutely better. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day out there, and we will see you on the next one. Love ya.